In 1987, we've been married a couple of years. We're 22 years old, and our oldest son was born. And his esophagus was not attached to his stomach. He had surgery when he was 26 hours old. It didn't go well. He was in the NICU for like 35 days in a row before he came home. Had 16 surgeries in the first 14 or 15 months, and we're just buried in debt.
Because 20% of a couple of million is a lot of money.
Yeah, for a young couple especially. So I called my old boss from the gas station down in Italy. He agreed to take me on again part-time, but we needed to live there. We couldn't afford all the driving and that kind of stuff. And so we rented our house out and rented literally a dump in Italy so that we could save a couple $100 a month. So years go by, things kind of get, Ryan gets straightened out. We're going to church, that sort of thing. But we really never tithed. But the Lord was working on us about that. He's really speaking to us about, hey, if you'll just trust me, And we was more like, well, if you'll just fulfill this need, and then we'll trust you.
Yeah, we need to sell this house in Lancaster and not have 2 house payments.
About 6 months into having 2 mortgage payments and such.
And years of paying on medical bills still.
Yeah. I finally convinced Monica, hey, we really, really need to tithe. And so the very first Sunday that we went to go and tithe at the church, and so we put it in an offering plate, and we get home, and back in the old days when you had a answering machine on your phone and the little lights blinking, it says we got home from church. And it was our realtor, and she had a contract on our house.
He looked at me and he said, I told you we should have been tithing months now.
It showed us that, the Lord is always truthful and faithful. He tells us, trust me in this. Trust me in a small thing, and I'll show you big stuff. And so we've never looked back from that. We've tithed ever since.
God always provides for us each and every day. It doesn't matter. Bills come up and you think, in the back of your mind, maybe I shouldn't have tithed. But we already had, and it always works out every single time.
It's not only our duty as Christians, but it's also just a huge blessing. It relieves you of the need to rely on money, and just frees you from that so much. This church doesn't only exist for the believers, but it exists for those that don't believe yet. And so our giving through these initiatives and so forth is about reaching others, expanding the kingdom, giving people the opportunity to hear the good word. My name is Ricky Boyd. This is my wife, Monica. We've been married for 38 years, have 2 sons that are grown, and we've gone to the Avenue Church for about 3 years.